Romy, for inviting me to be guest speaker today. I really appreciate it, and I'm
Oke, hilang dia.
Kok keluar dia?
Kok hilang? Oh ya, aku chat deh. So.
Entah.
Kayak kepencet.
Kepencet ya. Aku chat aja deh. Where are you? Where are you?
Halo Mbak Resti. Thank
Halo,
you ya.
halo Bu. Apa kabar?
Welcome back, Aaron.
Musim apa di sana? Musim durian nggak? Nggak ada ya?
Still mute, Aaron. Nah.
Yeah, so sorry. I think I pressed the wrong thing. My bad. Sorry about that. Here we go. So I hope you're all doing well. So my name is Aaron. I'm an undergraduate student at Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh. I'm currently in my third year of studying accounting and finance, and I'll be graduating next year in 2023. Today, I just want to give you a little presentation on what it's like to be a university student here in Scotland, and as well as why you should consider doing an international transfer within your undergraduate, or maybe even for a postgraduate study. So a little bit about myself. I'm from a small town in Aberdeenshire, which is in the northeast of Scotland. I am half Indonesian myself, as Romy mentioned earlier on. So I have a good understanding of both cultures, and hopefully we can find some relatability throughout my presentation. So firstly, I just want to go through why you should come study in Scotland. So I'm sure most of you are aware of the high quality education that is available in the UK, but mainly down in England, with Oxford and Cambridge being two very notable universities. So you might not be as familiar with the opportunities available to get a world-class education in Scotland. So we currently have 5 universities in the top 250 universities in the world. And these are the University of Edinburgh, University of Glasgow, University of Aberdeen, University of Dundee, and University of St Andrews. So the opportunity to get this education is very present. In the UK, there's over 4,000 course combinations across all the universities. So finding a program that suits your own specification shouldn't be an issue. Scotland in general, it's a beautiful country. It's very famous for its landscapes, particularly its mountains and historic castles. And you can enjoy a wide range of outdoor activities, including hiking, kayaking, mountain biking. But I'm going to talk more about this later on in the presentation. First of all, I would like to talk about my own university, which is Heriot-Watt University. It's just outside of Edinburgh. So what I really like about Heriot-Watt is how fast it's grown, and it's continuing to grow as a company. So the university was founded in 1821, and when it was first founded, there was only 450 students enrolled. The number has now increased to almost 14,000, and the university now has 5 campuses across the world, including in Dubai and Malaysia. So I think almost a third of students at Heriot-Watt are international. So if you do decide to come here and study, I would expect to meet lots of students from around the world. So I decided to enroll at Heriot-Watt because as soon as I came to the open day, I knew that it was going to be an easy decision, and this is where I wanted to come to study. I could tell that because it was a smaller university compared to the likes of the University of Edinburgh, that there was a really good communal spirit at the campus, and that forming close relationships with both staff and students would be a lot easier. And this was indeed the case. And I've really enjoyed my time at the university so far. One of the great things about the university is the amount of clubs and societies that are available. And you'll find this with a lot of universities in the UK, that there's a lot of societies you can join. I think joining societies is the best way to make friends at university. Societies allow you to meet people with similar interests to you, and they are also great for enhancing your CV. So if you do choose to come abroad, I would recommend joining as many societies as you can. So the variety of societies that are available to students here is something that I find really appealing across the UK, because societies can range from academic societies such as economics and accounting to interests such as film or puppetry and sports like football and rugby. Recently, I was elected head of marketing for the university's investment society. So I hope that I'm able to gain some practical skills from this, and use my experience that I gained from it to progress my own professional career. At first, I was very nervous about joining the society because I didn't know anyone in it, but I've made lots of new friends since, and it's been one of the best decisions I've made since joining the university. So I would recommend, if you do come study, to just join societies and not be afraid, because everyone's in the same position. So you will make friends regardless. With regards to the standards of education at the university, I think it's a really refreshing university because I find that the lecturers are really passionate about what they're teaching, and it just makes it so much more engaging. And the tutors that they bring in, like Romy, for example, it was so clear how passionate about the course they actually are. And it's just really refreshing to see and engage in the material. So right now, because of COVID, it's been taught a little bit differently over the past couple of years. Last year, everything was online, including tutorials and exams, and they were 24-hour exams. This has slightly changed this year. Right now, our classes are being delivered through a blended approach. So all of our lectures are online, but our seminars and tutorials are basically optional, whether we go in or we stay at home and do them online. And I think this is what the future of the education system in the UK is going to be. I think that they're going to keep this blended approach. I'm not sure if exams will go back to in-person. I imagine they would, but I do think it's going to be optional for students to come into classes or not, just so that everyone can access the education from anywhere in the world. So yeah, I personally really like the blended approach because it gives me a lot of flexibility. I only have to go into my classes when it's really necessary. Personally, all mine are online, but I do go into university to do my individual study, and it just helps with my flexibility. So about Edinburgh. Edinburgh for me is a city like no other, and even if you don't come and study here, I would recommend that you visit the city because it's one that isn't like any other. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Harry Potter series, which was written in Edinburgh. And whilst the story is fictional, the city does truly feel magical sometimes. It's just so rooted in history, and you'll see that with the culture and architecture, which dates back centuries. And sometimes it feels like you're walking through a time capsule. You can basically see that the city's been built around the castle, and I just think because it's got so much history installed in it, it's just a beautiful city. It is relatively small compared to other cities in the UK, but getting bored is nothing. It isn't something that I've done before. I always find something new to learn or see in the city, and I'm actually yet to meet one person who hasn't enjoyed their time in Edinburgh. It just seems to have such a big impact and long-lasting effect on the people who come and visit and stay here. So my favorite things to do in Edinburgh is probably to go to the viewpoints across the city. You can see the whole city. Arthur's, for example, is great because it gives you a true appreciation for the whole city and just how beautiful it is. In addition to this, it is one of the most multicultural cities in the UK. During my time here, I've made friends from all over the world, ranging from the likes of the US to like Ghana, India, France, and Singapore. Some of my closest friends I've made are all international, to be honest. So basically, it's great for networking. You can really broaden your horizons and meet new people, and this isn't only going to benefit you now, but it's going to benefit you in the long term once you have these global connections and you're able to network and branch out across the globe when it comes to entering your professional career. So the city, there's actually over 170 languages spoken in Scotland, so it is truly multicultural. And there's places of worship for all faiths, and there's food available for all faiths as well. So I wouldn't worry about that. It's truly an accepting and welcoming city, and I would recommend you come visit if you get the opportunity. So the culture in Scotland is, as I said, extremely welcoming. And for some residents, I'd say that's quite an understatement. I have no doubt if anyone decides to come study in Scotland, they will feel extremely welcomed. I think the culture in Scotland is just so unique that everyone will be able to feel comfortable here. In Scotland, there's 6 major cities. These are Edinburgh, Glasgow, Dundee, Aberdeen, Stirling, and Inverness. And each city is so unique because it has its own individual culture and identity. And that's something I really like about the country. One really cool thing about Scotland is that across all of its cities, you'll find that the city is able to retain some of its culture and identity, and it manages to balance this with modern developments and its original traditions. So if you come to either Glasgow or Edinburgh, for example, you'd be able to notice instantly you've got new high skyscrapers, and they don't feel out of place amongst these old architectural buildings. They just add to the sense of identity and uniqueness that the cities bring. As I previously said, the Scotland is very multicultural. There's a range of nationalities. I think Scottish universities attract students from over 180 countries each year, for up to numbers about 50,000. So there's plenty of cultures to meet, plenty of backgrounds to learn about. Is really great. So a big part of Scottish culture, as you can see in the bottom left here, is sports. Personally, I quite like the football, and I think that there's a uniqueness in the culture here because everything, including the sports, the arts, the music, they all have the same sort of identity that you associate with Scotland, and it's very familiar, but it's hard to describe. But it's very patriotic and passionate, and you probably wouldn't recognize it until you actually came to Scotland and saw it for yourself. So there's in terms of food, Scotland does have its own unique food. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Scottish food. Haggis is not really my favorite. It's just not really something I'd like to eat, and a lot of the sort of Scottish food is deep fried as well, so it's not the healthiest. But there is a big variety of different cultures here, and that is installed in the food as well. So you will have a variety of restaurants in each city covering almost all cuisines from around the world. We also have a lot of international food shops as well. So there's a lot of Asian supermarkets. So getting Indomie is very easy for myself. But one thing I would want to warn you guys about is the weather in Scotland. If you do come to visit, I would be prepared for very contrasting weather to Indonesia. Unfortunately, each season here is very well defined, especially wintertime, where temperatures are, it's not uncommon for them to drop into the negatives. And actually, a lot of students will experience snow for the first time when they come to Scotland. And it's really nice to see, because I sort of taken it for granted my whole life. But just a heads up to bring a warm jacket or two if you do decide to come and study here. So a little bit about my own experience as a student. I'm going to be honest, I don't think moving halfway across the world is going to be an easy experience if you decide to do it. I definitely think it's worth it, but it's not going to be something you can adjust to straight away, especially when you've got such a different culture when you go abroad. But I wouldn't be too worried about it, because even myself and the local students are all nervous when we join university. I was only 17 when I came to university, so I was still quite young, and I wasn't sure if I was ready to leave home or not. And it did take me a lot of time to sort of adjust not living with my parents, because I was very used to getting cooked for by my mom, and maybe she cleaned up for me a little bit too much as well. So when I came to university, it was a little bit of a shock that I had to do it all myself. But after adapting, I gained so much independence and key life skills that you will only learn from living on your own and gaining that independence. So it will take a little bit of time to transition. At first, but once you have it, it's easy, and then
Hello there, listening. Can you mute yourself, please?
That's
Okay.
fine. Sorry about
Sorry
that.
for that.
No, it's all good. So yeah, it's just about taking time to transition to a new place. So I would say another hard thing is meeting new friends. But as I said earlier, just joining clubs and societies, everyone's in the same sort of position. So I wouldn't be worried about that as well. The other thing is, it isn't particularly cheap to live in Edinburgh, for example. So there is many opportunities for you to gain part-time work if you want to earn a little extra cash. A lot of students do have part-time jobs, and they're able to balance these with their studies. Most people work in restaurants or shops. I actually work as a part-time English tutor to a group of children in Palangkaraya in Borneo. So this is a role obviously I have to do virtually, but that's good because I can blend it in really well with my online studies. So it's just about finding a job that maybe suits you and your skills, if that is what you want. Alternatively, almost every other city in Scotland is very affordable to live in. Glasgow, for example, is ranked as the second cheapest student city in the UK, and it's actually voted third best student city in the UK as well. So I would definitely take the sort of cost of living into consideration when you are choosing where to go. If it's not a problem for you, then I would definitely recommend coming to Edinburgh. So if you are worried about missing home a little bit when you're away, there is good news in the fact that in Scotland, there is a rapidly growing Indonesian community. It's obviously grown a lot since I grew up here. It was quite small in the early 2000s, but it's massively grown and it's still continuing to grow, and it's great to see. So there's plenty of festivals that happen each year around the UK, where you can get food and you'll meet people of all different ages and backgrounds, and you can talk to them about their stories about coming here and adapting to the country as well. So it's really good to get that sense of belonging and get a little feel for Indonesia when you're over here. So this, for example, this weekend, there is an Indonesian food market in Edinburgh, which I'm going to go to. So I can just get lots of food there. It'll be a good chance to meet new people as well. And at most universities, there probably is an Indonesian society as well, because a lot of students do decide to come over here. Our one at Heriot-Watt, it's not very big, but it will help you sort of get that sense of belonging and make you feel a bit more comfortable if there's people in the same position as you. For example, my cousin, he studies in Poland right now. He hasn't met anyone from Indonesia, but he's still managed to adapt fine, because there's so many people coming from all over the world that you can come and speak to. And yeah, everyone's just looking to make friends, I suppose. So next up, I wanted to look at a little bit of the sort of opportunities and career prospects that you can get from choosing to study abroad, and in particular in the UK. So in Scotland, for example, the education system is one that really encourages you to gain skills that are relevant and marketable and really sought after by employers today. So not only would undertaking a Scottish education massively enhance your own personal development, but it would additionally increase your employability and career prospects. In the UK, there's a really strong focus on helping students get back to their desired, like onto their career paths. So there's lots of career fairs, lots of workshops as well that you can go to that will help you get onto your career path. Universities will work with employers a lot of the time to get grad schemes sorted for students. Heriot-Watt, for example, within 6 months of graduation, I think 95% of students are either working or in further education. So it's very, it's a very good system, just to get students where they want to be after they graduate. In terms of career opportunities that are available in Scotland that I know of as well, there's a wide range of internship programs that are available to students from all over the world, throughout a range of different fields and industries. Edinburgh is kind of known as the finance capital of Scotland. There's lots of investment banks, both multinational ones and local ones as well. Right now, Scotland is said to manufacture almost 80% of Europe's workstations. So the electronics industry is huge here, with over 40,000 people employed. There's also big opportunities in industries such as food and drink, tourism, life sciences, artificial intelligence, and telecommunications as well. I think Edinburgh has previously been named as the #1 city in Europe to start a tech business, which just shows how up and coming it is in the world. Yeah, I also think that I'm not too sure, but I've spoken to a lot of my international friends, and they have said that as part of their student visas, they get the opportunity to look for a job for 2 years after they graduate here. So there's definitely future prospects if you do decide to come do a master's degree or any sort of postgraduate study here as well to get a job. So these are my socials if you would like to network on anything, or if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to take them. So overall, I hope my presentation has been somewhat helpful in if you are considering studying abroad, and I hope it's given you some hindsight on what it's like to be a student here. If you do get the opportunity to do so, I would definitely recommend going abroad and gaining an understanding and appreciation for the ways that it can benefit you. And if you choose to go somewhere else other than Edinburgh, studying abroad anywhere will allow you to make unforgettable experiences, priceless memories, and friends for life. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to take them.
All right. Thank you so much, Aaron, for your very interesting presentations. And I'm sure we receive, we got a lot of important point from you. And then I'm sure it gave a lot of insight and courageous for students to start to leave their comfort zone and then move to another country to start their study and then to feel new experience, to gain a lot of experience. And now we are going to the next sessions. It's a Q&A sessions. I hope everyone here I'm sure everyone who join this session have a lot of questions in their mind, and I suggest you to unmute yourself and then ask to Aaron, and I hope you can answer every questions that they have. So I have received it through Google Form. Maybe I can read it for you when then you start answering their questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, if someone from here want to talk to Aaron directly, it will be good. So just unmute yourself and then talk. Okay. First question is Scotland a region that has a Nisi legend? I'm not sure about Nisi legend because I'm also new in the UK. Nisi legend, yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat that word one more time?
Is Scotland a region that has a Nisi legend? Nisi.
Nessie.
Nessie. Am I spelling it correctly? How do we pronounce the Nessie? Nessie legend.
Oh, Nessie. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, yeah. So we refer to her as the Loch Ness monster. So Loch Ness is a loch, which is just a small lake, basically, up in Inverness. So basically, there is a myth or a legend that Nessie is a monster that lives up in a loch up there. So there's a huge tourism drive in Inverness because of the myth. I'm not sure if I believe it myself, but I'm sure there was some sort of prehistoric dinosaur that lived there at the time where it all stemmed from. But yeah, it's a good question, and I would definitely recommend visiting Loch Ness if you have the chance.
Yeah. So, and do you think studying in Hyatt is difficult or it's out of your expectations? And how do you think studying in, especially being an undergrad student, or what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it's okay as long as if you put in the work. I know some people don't sort of put in enough work. Maybe sometimes I don't put in enough work as well. so I can struggle a bit if I maybe miss a lecture or something. But material is definitely um, it's definitely manageable if you do attend your classes, you go to your tutorials. I think I always found that first year's the hardest, and a lot of people will agree with me. The first year of your undergraduate in Scotland tends to be the hardest because they try to make it a big step up from school so that people who aren't going to manage to do it sort of drop out after first year. But there isn't too many dropouts after first year. So it's just about sort of finding the ways that work best for you and managing your time and your studies well, and you should be able to do it fine.
All right. Yeah. I think so. And do you have any recommendations? Like suggestion for students who studying abroad, like how do they manage their time in studying, and then do they have to prepare a day before lecture, or as we know that we are not English, like we are not native speaker, I know that it will be difficult for us to catch up during the class. So maybe do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's too much on a sort of language aspect that they expect you to know. They don't expect you to be completely fluent or anything. I'm sure there are some universities that will let you even take exams in your native language. I don't think.
Really? I've never heard about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've definitely heard of some. But I don't think Harry Watt does that. I think just doing readings before classes is definitely worth it. Just I think preparing for tutorials is really important as well. There's normally not much preparation you can do for a lecture. Normally from a lecture, they will tell you to go and do additional readings. I think it's really important that you do your readings because they are massively helpful, and the help with a lot of understanding when it comes to your exams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with you. So we have plenty questions here. I hope you don't mind to answer all.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Okay. So why do you choose to study in Harriet Watt University? What is the most, what is the biggest reasons for you to study in Harriet Watt?
So personally, I'm from quite a small town, in the countryside, and I wasn't initially really keen on going to study in a big city. But Harriet Watt is really good in the fact that it's actually sort of outside of Edinburgh. So in my first year, I got to stay on campus, and I could sort of adapt to city life before I was basically thrown in to the deep end where I had to stay in the city. Also, Harriet Watt has a really good Go Global scheme with its Dubai and Malaysian campuses. Initially, I was going to take advantage of, because when I started studying, I'm sure Romy knows that I started studying international business. So I was planning to go to the Malaysian campus for 2 years, but then obviously coronavirus hit. So I wasn't able to go for my second year. And then I ended up changing to accountancy and finance as well, which they don't offer in Malaysia. So I was sort of stuck here, but I do really enjoy the university. There's great career prospects as well. I think Harriet Watt has the highest graduate salary rate in Scotland as well, which is good. I think just the sort of multicultural, international atmosphere that Harriet Watt is able to provide is just something that really attracted me to the university.
Wow, cool. Yeah, I think so. So I think we got a lot of insight from you. So everyone, the one who joined in this seminar will, this session is very, get a lot of knowledge from you. I have a lot of questions here now. I will just read it for you. And maybe if you want to talk to Aaron, you just unmute yourself, because this is a very funny questions. Like I'm not sure you can answer it, but I will try to ask you. And have you been to Indonesia before?
Yeah, I have a lot of family in Indonesia.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, how do you think Indonesia is? Did you feel any culture shock when you come to Indonesia, or do you feel any sort of stranger? I'm being so strange here, so whatever.
Yeah, so personally, I love Indonesia. I think it's a great country, and I love going over. I haven't been over since 2017, before coronavirus. I was meant to go back in 2019, but obviously that couldn't happen. But yeah, I do really like Indonesia. It is very different to Scotland, and I'm sure you've noticed that in your first couple months in the UK.
Exactly. Everything is so different. Everything is just so new to me. Like, even, yeah, the most different thing is the weather. We don't have this kind of weather, but a part of weather, everything is just so new, where I have to get used to it. Very, it takes time for me to get used to everything, but yeah, it's okay.
I think there's a lot less restrictions here. Everyone's it's a lot more multicultural as well. You'll meet lots of people from lots of different places. But I would say that it's not as urban as maybe the likes of Jakarta. You won't have these huge skyscrapers here unless you're in London. Edinburgh, and particularly, tends not to build upwards. They tend to just build out the way. Whilst when you've got densely populated cities like Jakarta, you sort of need to build upwards. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I really like Jakarta and how sort of diverse areas of Indonesia are, and the contrast between the likes of Jakarta and Bali, for example.
Okay.
I feel like in Scotland, everywhere, whilst it does have its individuality, it's still quite similar. Everywhere's sort of just cold, and there's castles, It's very historical, and sometimes I think Scotland might be living in the past a little bit, compared to the likes of East Asia, where technology is really rapidly developing. But I think whilst there is a big culture shock in going back to Indonesia, I do still really enjoy
it. Yeah, everyone who, we do have that kind of problem if we go to somewhere else that we never been to before. So culture shock is one of the most important, the biggest problem for us, isn't it? So this is a very important question. Before you decided to go to, to go to university and then to be away from your home, how do you change your mindset? How do you make sure yourself to, this is the best decisions I made, I will make. So what do you think about it? So, because to change our mind is sometimes really difficult. We have a lot of things to be considered, and then anything to be concerned. So how do you think it will work for us?
Yeah, so in my situation, my school was very focused on pushing everyone towards university. So sort of almost everyone from my year went to university to study. I guess I was sort of just in that mindset. But I think there's plenty of opportunities in sort of that I considered. I did consider doing apprenticeships as well. Well, I'm not the most like hands-on person. I don't think I'd be very good in a sort of labor-intensive job. So the opportunity to come to university and sort of experience what I suppose everyone else was doing was very good in my opinion. I think it's the same pathway for a lot of students here, that everyone's well, with certain schools anyway, that everyone has the same sort of pathway, and it's sort of after you go to university that everyone sort of goes their different directions.
Wow. So that's a very, very insightful thing that we got from you. I mean, like, it's really difficult. I'm telling you, it's really difficult to make a decision for ourselves. I mean, like, for long-term decisions to study abroad, but we have to go out from our comfort zone. We have to start gaining new experience. We cannot stay in our place forever. We have to see other places. We have to learn from other people. So that's what I wanna say. And maybe some of our audience wants to ask directly to Aaron. You can just mute yourself and then talk to them. It will be nice to have a chat directly. I mean, like, to talk in person. Don't be shy. We are not a native speaker. Our English is also not really good. It's bad actually, and we can.
I'm sure it's good.
Aaron is learning Indonesia now. I'm sure.
Aaron there's one raising hand.
Okay, someone's
raising hand actually.
Okay, Wahyu.
Okay, thank you, Resti. Aaron, I want to ask you something. Like, do you still ask your parent for money, or you can fulfill all your financial needs by working as part-time worker?
So actually, that's a very good question. I do get a little bit of money from my parents, but the majority of my money actually comes from student loans. So in Scotland, we have a really good sort of student loan system, where I think almost all Scottish students will take out a loan. Basically, you get, I think, up to £5,500 each year, for each year of your course, and then you only pay it back if you can afford to. If you earn over a certain threshold once you've graduated, then you start to pay it off. But I think by the time you get to 30 years old, if you haven't paid it all off, it just gets written off. So you're not stuck in that long-term debt, and it's quite a good solution actually, for student finances.
Okay, thank you.
So
you only work you only work as a English tutor, or do you have any other part-time jobs? I mean, like,
right now I only work as an English tutor.
okay, cool.
And that's just for a little bit of extra spending money. My loans sort of cover my accommodation, and my food, and then I just work on the side just for a little bit of extra money.
Like, I'm also doing part-time jobs since I'm a scholarship student, but I'm still doing part-time jobs as a cafe assistant. It's really nice it's really nice to have this experience. It's not only for gaining money, but the experience of this part-time job is really helpful for me, for my communication skills, and then how to negotiate with people, how to be as a England. I mean, like how do we just get used to this environment? So yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, okay. I think working in the cafes.
Yeah,
I used to do that when I was back in school as well, and you
exactly.
stuff.
Exactly. Okay, we still have another question here. I hope you don't mind to answer.
Yeah, that's all right.
There is one raising hand actually.
Okay. Oh yeah, someone is raising hand. Please. Okay. Ridwan Naufal.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm very interested in study in the UK, but my English is not good. But I'm still learn. Is the language apakah ada sekolah bahasa gitu untuk beberapa waktu bachelor ataupun kayak magister gitu. Terima kasih.
First of all, do you understand this question? Because it's interesting.
Not quite, which tells you how.
Ridwan, can you repeat, please?
Okay. In the UK, but bachelor and magister have language school gitu.
Oh, so what he's trying to ask is, before we enter undergrad study or before we joining master program, do universities in the UK provide a English course or is that what you are asking for, Ridwan?
I think his question is about, is there any language preparation program?
Yeah, language course or language preparation
for international students before entering the degree.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question actually. I have had a couple of friends who have taken part on language courses as a requirement for them to actually go on to do their course. So I think you actually go through an external sort of course that's out with the university that you pass first. I don't know how many sort of restrictions there is on it, but I think it is pretty basic requirements that are needed. But yeah, there definitely is some language courses that are good to take in preparation for coming.
Yeah, in my case, we do have a English support team. So as you are, you can enter. You can take the degree. You can studying without having a 7 IELTS score, but you will need to attend some English support classes during your study in this university. So you do have English support in this university. Not in my university, but maybe some of university in the England. Yeah. So I think you don't have to be worried about how fluent is your English. It's just, the thing is, you have to be brave to come here and then to study in this university. So that's the point, I think. So do we have any other participant raising hand, maybe?
Anyone wants to raise hand? You can raise hand for twice.
Yeah.
Oh, there is one. Reza Arista.
Reza Arista.
Hello, Aaron. Can you hear my sound?
Yeah, I can hear your sound.
I think learning in your country is interesting, but my English skill is bad. Have you any tips for learning English? Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, that's all right. As for tips for learning English, I think Duolingo is actually a very good app to sort of start off with. That's what I'm using right now for my Indonesian. But I think English is not an easy language to learn, especially when you've sort of learned Indonesian growing up, because we have so many tenses to learn. And I've noticed that teaching my class, there's only sort of one tense in Indonesian, and then you're coming to the UK and there's 9 tenses to learn. but I don't think it matched too much. But I would definitely start off with something like Duolingo, and I'd look into maybe starting to learn some tenses. It probably goes a long way. I think getting sort of some words down in your vocabulary first, and then just progressing from there. I maybe even just learning a couple words a day or something goes a long way when it comes to learning a new language. I think for me, watching movies as well and TV shows in English can help a lot if you have subtitles on at the bottom. I try to do that with Indonesian movies, but they always speak so fast that I can't always get it. But yeah, I definitely think that's one way to do it. Just sort of reading, and then maybe watching some TV programs and movies in English.
Cool. Yeah, how
Okay.
is it, Azan?
Thank you, Aaron. Have a nice day.
That's all right. You have a nice day too.
So, so have you ever tried Indonesian food? I'm sure you tried it before because your mom does cook Indonesian food. So, what
Yeah.
food do you really like? I mean, what food do you really love the most?
I like soto Betawi.
Soto Betawi, okay.
Yeah. When I go over to Indonesia, I like to eat satay taichan as well, but it's quite spicy. And then obviously I like Indomie. My cupboard is sort of filled with Indomie.
Oh, do you like Indomie?
Yeah, I like Indomie a lot.
Interesting. Then you are officially Indonesian if you like it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But yeah, I think I prefer Indonesian foods than Scottish food. I think Scottish food can be quite bland sometimes, compared to Indonesian food.
Okay.
So there is one Asian store in Haymarket named Thai. You can buy Indomie right there. Like
Yeah. I think most Asian stores here you can buy Indomie from, and ketchup mayonnaise as well.
Oh, okay.
So you will be able to find the odd sort of Indonesian product, but a lot of it you might have to import in.
Okay. So, we have you have already answered all the questions. One more question is what do you do on the weekend? I mean, like, what do you usually spend during your weekend? What are you studying?
Yeah, so
Because Harriet, what's university? I know it must be really stressful being a student. Maybe you spend your weekend studying.
Don't say study. Don't say study, Aaron.
no, I don't really study on the weekend, to be honest. I try and get all my studying done during the week, but there's so many things to see around Edinburgh and in Scotland, to be honest. I'm under 20. I'm only 20 right now, so I get free bus travel in Scotland. So I can take a bus anywhere I want. There's just so many places to see. I really like going to the zoo. I have a membership at the zoo, so most weekends I probably go to the zoo if I have time, and then just hanging out with my friends, going to the cinema, just sort of usual stuff. Yeah, I try not to study too much on the weekends.
Yeah. So, in total, how many hours do you study in a week? Except, like, despite of doing your part-time jobs.
Yeah, so I only have 8 hours of class per week. So I have 4 hours of lectures and then 4 hours of tutorials as well. I try to dedicate an extra couple of hours per course as well, just going over the material, doing tutorial questions. And I think that's the best way to do it. You don't want to sort of overwork yourself, and it's good to have a good social life as well as work life. And I think that's just part of being used to.
study
I
life balance. You have to balance yourself between
yeah,
study and social life. Yeah, that's
exactly.
good.
I think a lot of international students sometimes come over and they maybe study a bit too much. I know there's a lot of pressure. Maybe because I mean because I'm Scottish, I don't pay university fees, so it's a little less stressful for me. But I do have some friends who come abroad and they're paying quite a lot, so their parents are putting a lot of pressure on them to get their good grades. But
Exactly.
I think I think it's definitely
Yeah.
good to get some downtime.
Aaron, we have another lecturer here from UMY. Budia, would you like to greet Aaron?
Oh, hello, Aaron. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm the lecturer on Department of Economics, and I'm the secretary of department. So thank you very much. We having you here. Yeah.
Thank you very much
And
for inviting me.
sharing, yes, sharing your experience study in Scotland. Yeah. And so I heard that you have your mother from Indonesia, or your mother is living in Indonesia?
No, my mom is from Indonesia, from Bandung.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Jawa Barat, yeah, the West Java,
yeah,
Bandung.
West Java, but
Bandung, yeah. Bandung
most
have
of my family.
many culinary, very delicious. In Bandung, a lot of variety of food, very
Yeah,
rich. Yeah.
I do like the food. I do like the canteen.
Yeah, maybe sometime you can visit Solo, yeah, Surakarta, Solo. It's my hometown. Is also a lot of culinary, yeah, there, culinary food, Indonesian food, yeah, like
Yeah,
nasi liwet, yeah. Not only soto Betawi, we have nasi liwet, we have sate, yeah, barbecue in maybe in Scotland, maybe. Okay, nice to see you, Aaron.
yeah, nice to see you too.
Yeah, she is one of our lecturers. She is really kind, and then she is really. Oh, if you come to UMA, you have to take her course and then Romi's course. You have to.
He has ever taken my course.
Yeah, I know, but you have to feel how Romi teach in the
In
Indonesia.
Bahasa.
In Bahasa, it's totally
Okay, yeah, I can imagine. It's very different.
environment, the circumstance, the pressure is very different. So you have to feel.
Yeah, I thought his classes were quite relaxed back in first year.
Okay. Okay.
I think
Do
we're
you
still
have any
inviting.
questions? Or?
Yes, we're still inviting some questions from participants. I mean, like just to practice your speaking,
Yeah,
since we have native here.
yeah.
Mhm.
Me myself have no. I mean, like really bad in English, but yeah. Let's just speak up.
Yes, you can
This is your
ask.
chance.
Yeah, like you can ask his favorite food or his favorite music or movie.
Yeah. Perfect place to go.
Yes. Do you
Have you
know
been to
any?
Bradford? Have you been to Bradford, Aaron?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't really seen much of England. I've only really been to London.
London. Okay. Okay.
Have you been to London yet?
Yeah, I'm going to London on 26th. I mean, like this next week. Yeah, it's like a £5 trip from university. So I really excited for that. I'm really excited for that. It's only
Yeah.
£5 and 1 day trip. I think that's really worth to buy to buy the ticket. So yeah.
Yeah,
Don't go to
that's
Big Ben.
Exactly. I traveled to Edinburgh like a few couples ago. I mean, like couples week ago, and then yeah, I went to I went to where was the place? I forgot the name, but yeah, I visited a lot of places in the Edinburgh. I mean, like it was
did you
only
like it?
1 day trip too, and yeah,
Okay.
Edinburgh is really nice.
Yeah, I think it's a good city. So was it like a tour?
No, I went by myself. It's like
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, actually, Resti meets one of the professors from Kiryatwat.
I see.
If you know Arnab Bhattacharjee, is the one who meets Resti over there. Yeah, he was my supervisor actually.
Okay. And,
Do you know him?
I don't. Is he Indonesian as well?
No,
No.
he's Indian.
Indian.
He's
Okay.
Indian.
He's Indian. Yeah.
Yeah, I visited here. I mean, I visited him and his family. I stayed there for one night, and the rest of the day I just hang around. I mean, like just strolling around the city, and then visited few places around the city. It was really nice. It was really great. I mean, like Edinburgh has a lot of things to see.
Yeah.
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 Compared to Bradford it's nothing. If you want to go, totally, Bradford is nothing. If you want to go to somewhere, I mean, like to relax, to relieve from uni, you just go to another place. The closest, I mean, like the closest place to go is Leeds. So
Leeds. Yeah.
we often go to Leeds every weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it's quite nice. Is Bradford in the Midlands?
Yeah, in the middle.
Okay.
So it's really easy to go anywhere from here.
Yeah, that's.
To every part of England.
Is there a big Indonesian community?
No, I only found like four Indonesians studying here, but there are plenty of Indonesians studying in Leeds Beckett University, Leeds University. But yeah, but we are in the same associations. So I joined their association. So every time they have like a Indonesian market, so I need to go to Leeds.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. At least there is some people.
At least. Yeah.
Okay. There is one question. I think it is interesting question in the Google form.
Okay.
Will the native feel comfortable chatting with a pretentious new guy? Because it's possible that foreign students will approach native girl.
Ooh.
Quite a brief
What question is this?
It's quite brief question.
Can you say it one more time?
Okay, let me read the question. Will the natives feel comfortable chatting with a pretentious new guy? Because it's possible that foreign students will approach native girl.
Oh, I mean, for me, I would be completely comfortable speaking to anyone that approached me and wanted to know more. I love making friends with Indonesian students, particularly. I've met quite a few this year. I think there's less Indonesian students now at Heriot Watt. I only really know one other Indonesian student, and he's also from Bandung. But yeah, I think in Edinburgh people are quite friendly.
Agree.
So that I think anyone that approaches them, they will speak to you, and they'll easily help you out, and maybe even want to make friends as well. Yeah, it's a good community, and everyone's very welcoming.
Okay. So that's how you make friends, yeah?
We're still opening up the opportunity to ask directly to Aaron.
Maybe Bu Dia Titis have any questions?
Oh, thank you, Mbak Resti. Aaron, what is the among the best or maybe the best university in Edinburgh?
I think the University of Edinburgh is definitely the best. I know I shouldn't say that going to Heriot Watt, but if you're looking for the most prestigious sort of university, I think, Romy, did you do a course at Edinburgh University as well?
Yes, I do. In Cambridge as well.
In Cambridge as well. but you can definitely tell the difference between sort of Russell Group unis like that and one like Harriet Watt, which is a very modern university. I suppose it depends what you're looking for, to be honest. If you're looking for a sort of classic historical university, then definitely Edinburgh. But if you're looking for a modern sort of innovative university, I would say Harriet Watt. But in terms of rankings and stuff, Edinburgh University is always going to be top.
I do agree. Like some of my Indonesian friends sometimes refer Harriet Watt, so it's HWU, right? So they mentioned HWU, not stands for Harriet Watt, but it's for Harvard University. So it's not Harriet Watt, but it's Harvard. It's just an anecdote. So
Yes, thank you very much, Aaron, for the information.
That's
So
okay.
I said among the best, so very good answer.
I think, yeah, Edinburgh University is among the best in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there is one question from Wahyu. Would you like to ask in person?
Okay, Aaron, I want to ask like, is there still racism or bullying on Scotland about our what time we are Asian or like that?
Yeah, actually, that is a very good question. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes there is. I grew up in a very small town, where I was actually the only Asian student in my class, and everyone else was Caucasian. So there was a little bit of sort of racism back then, not really within my class, but sort of other year groups. And then but I wouldn't say that it's too bad. Most people are very friendly, and it's highly unlikely that you will experience it. I think there was a case in Edinburgh not too long ago where there was an Asian student who was, I think, racially attacked outside of the library by a group of teenagers. But honestly, I wouldn't worry about it because it probably won't happen. It's just a couple of odd situations. The city is very multicultural, so I don't think it's a problem unless you're maybe in one of the bad areas. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But I wouldn't let it put you off coming to study here because it is very unlikely that it's going to happen. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Resti.
I think Resti disappeared maybe because of the connection problem, like Aaron in the beginning. Oh, there is one question. Someone is raising hand. Tegar Mukit.
Yes. Hi, Aaron. I will asking something. Coronavirus. How about that?
Okay, that's a good one. So basically, I think in England, all the restrictions have been lifted, right? But in Scotland, we were meant to be lifting all restrictions on Monday, but that's been slightly delayed because there's a new subvariant in Scotland. So I think all restrictions are getting dropped in April. But my family have all just caught coronavirus. So it's moving fast in Scotland. But I would expect all restrictions to drop soon, and I don't even think you're going to need testing coming into the country very soon as well. So it's gonna be very relaxed. Everyone's sort of vaccinated as well. There's very high sort of rates. I think over 90% of the population is vaccinated. So there is that as well.
Cool.
Okay, Aaron.
Oh,
But I have
Resti.
many questions, but I think I can contact you our Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. Did you get note of my Instagram?
Yeah, I was got it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll
Yeah.
chat later.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
Wow, it's so. I mean,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it attracts a lot of
Maybe anyone from the past participants want to ask questions because we have another guest here. I think someone's from outside of UMY.
maybe from a girl here because all
Yeah.
of the questions come from male participant. What
Yeah.
about female participants? So don't be shy to ask to
Yeah,
Aaron.
this is your
He's not
time to
biting you.
ask questions to Aaron.
He's not biting you actually.
No, I don't think there's anything. There's no such thing as a wrong question or a bad question. So
I saw that there is a British name in the participant. I think it's Harry. Harry is like a British name, right? Because it's the name of English.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
yeah.
Okay. 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 So I think there is one question. I think there is one question in a chat column. Someone has dropped me a message. Oh, okay. Let me check. Okay. Ridwan. So, Mas Ridwan, are you there?
Terima kasih. Izin bertanya.
Okay, please.
Can you tell me about your experience study in UK? So I have a overview. Thank you.
An overview of my experience in the UK.
Study in UK gitu.
So just an overview.
Yes, maybe because he's still like not familiar with UK. Like, could you give him like a short overview what it feels like for a newcomer? I guess.
Okay. So I can only really talk about Scotland because I'm not too familiar with how it works down south. But yeah, it's a very welcoming society. Lots of people. There will be lots of people from lots of different countries that you can get involved with. Being a student here is very flexible. You get lots of time to sort of relax, as well as work. Courses are they can sometimes be hard, but as long as you study hard and you do your readings, then you should be fine. There's lots of different groups and societies that you can join with particular interests, and yeah, I think no matter who you are, or how scared you might be of coming to study in the UK, when you actually get here, I think it's really easy to enjoy, because there's so many people in the same position as you, and it's easy to forget that. But as long as you just speak to people, you make friends, and you will really enjoy your time.
Yeah, I agree with you. As long as we speak, then we make friends. That's the thing. We just have to be brave to talk with people. Like,
Okay.
that's the thing.
I think like it's a good step for you guys when you ask some questions to Aaron directly, because like it gives you a little training about being confident first, and being confident is like one big step to be to be able to speak well in English, I guess. Like I can see that yes, it's better to try rather than not try at all.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So when you try to ask question, then I think you are in a, I mean like further small step to go to big journey, I guess. Who knows?
Exactly.
So
Please, anyone from the participants want to ask?
Or Aaron, do you have any question to the participant? It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You can ask something about Indonesia or how to learn Indonesia quickly. Or something else.
Yeah, that would be quite.
Learn bahasa.
That would be quite good. If anyone had any advice on how to learn Indonesian quickly.
Oh, we have one lecturer here. Maybe Putitius can help you how to speak Indonesian quickly.
Yeah, maybe just like have a exercise in daily conversation in Indonesia. Maybe if you cooking like that, and then you practice with Indonesian cooking, or maybe just daily activities, or maybe you have a short conversation with your friends, maybe. Or if in my experience, when I study other language, I like to watch the movie in English with the subtitle like that. So maybe, or maybe sing a song like that.
Yeah, I actually think that works quite well. Listening to music.
Oh, do you listen to Indonesian song or do you only listen to Indonesia Raya?
No, I don't listen to much Indonesian music. Sometimes it comes up, and maybe I overhear my mom listening to it.
Nice. What about Indonesian movie? Have you ever watched any?
Yeah, my cousins always tell me to watch Indonesian movies. Normally they're quite sort of teenage sort of ones. But they're like teenage comedies and stuff. I watched quite a funny one on Netflix not too long ago. I think it was called Too Handsome to Handle or something. It was pretty funny. My cousin told me to watch it, but yeah, I definitely find that watching movies does help a lot when learning a new language.
Of course, especially when you are in flight and you are so bored for like 18 hours flight. So there's nothing to do other than watching the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I have a very short question, maybe for both Aaron and Resti. So how to cope with cultural shock when we study abroad? Maybe, I don't know, Aaron, if you have any experience about that. Like, when we go somewhere abroad, yeah, we have we have a different food like that, or different maybe in the morning in if we go to like Western country, we don't eat like rice, but maybe we eat like just only banana or apple or cereals. So how cope with that kind of different culture or language? Maybe both of you could give like tips and tricks, yeah, to cope with cultural shock. Thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's really important to research a country very well before I go. So I'm actually hoping to go to Jakarta for 1 month to do an internship this summer. So I'm going to be looking up all the local areas and all the restaurants nearby me to figure out what I like to eat. I know Indonesia is a bit different because they have quite a lot of Western restaurants as well. But normally, if I'm going on holiday, I will fully research about the location I'm going to and all the foods. I'll maybe you can even try and make the foods before you go to see if you like it or not. But yeah, I think it's just, I think when you go to a new place, it's just about trying new things. Even if you're not too familiar or keen on them, I think just trying them is part of the process, and then you can figure out what you like from that.
Yeah.
It's
How about
something that I
Resti? Yeah.
experience here actually. Yeah, I didn't at first I didn't expect that it will be really easy to find food here because I thought like what you have said like I thought I would just eat cereal, apples and fruits, and I wouldn't find rice here, but right after I got to the England, I found it because I don't know whether it's only in my city. I mean, like in Bradford, that has a lot of halal food, and then a lot of Muslim are here. Even I found a lot of mosque. So I think it's quite easy to find everything here. I mean, like if compared to another country like France or Australia, that it's really difficult to find the street food for us. But in Bradford, everything is just really easy to find. I can find rice, and then at first I prepared a lot of things. Like I brought a lot of things from Indonesia. It's just to make my luggage overweight. So I brought everything from Indonesia. Rice. Even I brought rice. I even brought the rice cooker and everything. I'm just preparing if I mean like pre-occasions. If I couldn't find the things in Bradford, then I have my own. But when I came here, it's really nice to see a lot of Muslims here, and then everyone. I don't feel like I'm in the UK, but I feel like I'm in my hometown. Like everyone here is just so nice. Everyone help us very. I mean, like everyone is so friendly. Everyone can help us. Like so, yeah. I think, and then I also try new food. I mean, like, I don't mind to try any food here as long as it's halal for me, as I'm a Muslim, and yeah, I think the best thing I ever had here. I mean, like during my study here is trying new food and then trying everything here because even though I can get it easily, it's still new for me. I never cook at home. I never cook at home. My mom always does. My mom always cooks for me. And then when I got here, I got to learn how to cook. I got to learn which seasoning do I have to use. So everything is so new to me. But yeah, this is the thing that we learn in studying abroad. Not only getting knowledge from uni, but also soft skill, communication skill, even personal skills is upgrading during studying in this. I mean, like during studying abroad. So that's what I experienced.
Okay, so don't be afraid, yeah, to go overseas, yeah. Like
yeah,
my
exactly.
experience in Australia about like 4 years or 5 years. So a lot of Asian groceries there and a lot of halal butcher, halal meat. So it's easy, yeah, and lively, yeah. Going overseas, don't be afraid, yeah, because there are many helps around us, yeah, around us. So it's okay then.
Yeah, it's
Mbak
okay.
Resti, it's very good insight, your experience. Yeah,
And
hopefully, yeah, thank you. Yes.
and I found like UK is one of diverse country. Like we can find a lot of Muslim here. I mean, like compared to another country, like yeah, and yeah, it's just like I feel like it is like in Indonesia too. Like they are very. I don't feel any racism here. So then they are trying to cut the racisms all over the country, university, and then they try to make everyone here feeling just like home. So that's the good thing I found in the UK. Everyone is just so nice, and then I don't feel any racisms, and then yeah, that's really good. It's really good to be away from home country like this. Yeah, we got to learn everything, anything, new things.
Okay. So since it's already 5:30 p.m. here, and I guess that it's almost afternoon in UK time.
Yeah.
I think our discussion here was really like interesting. Like we've
Yeah. Exactly.
interesting discussion together. And thank you very much for Aaron from the very far.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Aaron, for.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do we have a
Aaron.
photo session, Pak Romi?
No,
Oh, student could open
I guess
camera on.
if you're well with it, so we can have a photo session, but I don't know how to take a picture here. Well, sorry. So
Okay, we'll take a picture, yeah.
I'm not sure how to take a picture here.
Maybe
Okay,
everyone can
maybe,
open up the
yeah.
camera.
Okay, 1,
Itu errornya
2,
apa, Tis?
Hah?
Nah, itu udah.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Aaron, Resti, Budia, and
Thank
all
you
of
very
the
much. Thank you very much for.
Yes,
Thank you very much for having me.
for the participants, we will send you the certificate as well as like the important information how to do a student exchange with a scholarship from the government. So the name of the program is ISMA. I'm about to present the program after Aaron's presentation, but I think we have time limitation, so I will deliver the information by email. So I think that's all for our discussion. Thank you very much. So we'll be waiting for you to visit Yogyakarta, Aaron.
Yeah, hopefully this summer I can come visit.
Okay, great. And hope we can visit Aaron as well in Scotland.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Amen.
Amen. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, good afternoon, guys. See you in other chances. Bye. Assalamualaikum.